cautiously optimistic, as I'd say, and I'm quite dead inside from enough years as a Jets fan. So it takes a lot for me to get excited. Like, I'm still worried about the O-line, but I'm liking what I'm seeing so far. And
it took you a while to come around, especially on the individual just Rodgers aspect of it. But I think you're like, you know what? Let's do this.
Let's go. Like, okay, I'm starting to. All right, we might have something here. So then, but for the fact that it's predictable, like, yes, we loved the Rex Ryan season, but boring, predictable. They've gone out of their way to try and avoid drama. Any kind of loose ends were tied up. They sent Denzel Mims out to Detroit for a bag of footballs that got lost in shipping because he got hurt. So they get literally zilch, but just to get him away from the Hard Knocks cameras.
He was just waived again by a terrible team.
Yeah, and also we have
Elijah Moore
opening
down.
Yeah, and they made sure to get Q's contract extension settled, as a part of this, so you don't have a holdout as part of the storyline like Revis was in 2010. So it's boring enough that they needed a 6-minute segment of the team assembly with some mentalist dude.
You didn't like that?
It was just like, is this like a high school assembly? Like, what is that? What is this? And they had a 6-minute segment on that in the second episode. It got to a point where it felt like checking off boxes on a bingo card. Oh, let's make sure to work in an interview with Woody for no damn reason, but just to get him on camera for a few minutes because he owns the team.
Oh my God. And he's talking about, well, that's a lot of money. Okay. Who cares?
Yeah.
My God.
Okay, baby powder, bro. Come on. Yeah, you're the last one that should complain about money.
Yeah. The issue is he inherited it. He didn't make it, so that's why he's complaining.
Right. So
it's true. Also true.
It's been.
There were a couple. No, go
ahead. Go ahead. Yeah. No, go ahead.
The Woody Johnson 2-minute segment I could have done without. I also had an issue. There was no reason for Jason Garrett to show up. Like, what the hell are you doing, Jason Garrett?
I know.
Like that, and then Mr. Negative Nancy himself, Tiki Barber, had his little 30-second showing where I can't listen to him on the radio.
No, me neither.
Tiki takes every chance that he can to crap on the Jets, just for no reason. Just he can, so he does. Like,
I love
you. You played for the Giants. We get it.
We get it. You were a Giant. We got it. That's cool.
Yeah, and they didn't win until after you left.
Yeah, he is salty. That's what he is.
I love to listen to Evan Roberts, but I can't listen to him anymore because now he's with Tiki.
And then you got more.
I mean, I hated Carton, and Carton is way worse, but as a human. But Tiki is unlistenable.
Yeah, but you know what though? You knew Carton kind of had that skip aspect of it, where it was part of it's got to be on purpose,
right? And at least with Carton, you know what you're getting with Carton. Whereas Tiki, it's just like just find just where did gangrene hurt you? Like, just get over it, dude.
And then also, you had a problem with the Mentalist. I had a problem going to the tattoo parlor with Will McDonald. I thought that was so unnecessary. What is this, like a YouTube show now? Where
they probably should have at least put a disclaimer before that scene of but
it was just so. And I get they try and do other non-football parts with these players and coaches and stuff like that to try and break it up. But they could have done literally 3 million other things than the tattoo parlor with Will McDonald.
I will say, as we had our video of Will McDonald from the draft,
with my McDonald's fries.
Right. And Sammy almost body slamming me onto his couch and that reaction video.
Pool table.
Yeah. But hey, tattooed and pierced weirdos are my kind of people.
No,
we just didn't need to be in the tattoo parlor with you, but like I get it. You know, he seems like a good enough dude. And after hearing that backstory a bit about him, like, okay, like we might have something here.
Yeah.
And they gave him Gas the Nose 99, so sure, let's roll. See what happens.
Look, I haven't had any issues with it. It's like I mentioned to you in our text. It feels like Seinfeld, a show about nothing. So
yeah,
I'm
basically
fine with that. There's no drama, no issues. I don't care about if the stories are about tattoos and Woody for 2 minutes. That's the biggest stories.
Yeah. And Nathaniel Hackett being a kind of a weird dude, but also like that kind of explained a bit.
The only thing. The most surprising thing was when
he comes up very.
When Salah, reamed the O-line. Well, surprise! Everyone knows that. That's the biggest issue right now. So him doing that's not surprising.
Yeah.
I would do it too. Everyone in New York would do it too. That right now the biggest issue is the O-line. So him saying it on air and cursing about it, well, everyone knows that. There's no drama on that.
It's been a problem for them for years. No, but this isn't news.
But he also he also knew that it wasn't just under him. Like the offense forever. What was terrible.
I do think,
except for you. Yes, you had the early Rex years where, God, if you put that offensive line on this Jets team, are they not probably the overwhelming favorite to win the Super Bowl?
Definitely. If D-Brick and Mangold were on this line, we'd be set.
Come on.
I do think, though, if there's going to be a controversy in the next episode or the following episode, it's going to surround Mekhi Becton. Because now there's a lot of articles and stuff like that saying, okay, now it's time to like gradually transition him. Some are already saying he should be a starter. So I think if there's going to be something that could be controversial in the sense of they may talk about it more, will be that. Because I'm of the opinion that I think after seeing the last game, and if he's going to play again, and if he's just getting stronger and stronger, and the reason that they've done it slowly is because the medics, his doctors have said, let's go in this process of starting you on the left, then gradually moving you to the right. Then my opinion is he should be the right tackle to start the season.
I agree.
He should be the one. No Billy Turner, no Max Mitchell. It's either him, but if the left tackle, what's his name? Brown, ready, if he's not ready,
they haven't. He hasn't shown his face once in this series,
which is concerning. If he's not ready, then you move Becton to the left and you put AVT as the right tackle. They have enough depth inside that they could, work around. But
AVT can play anywhere on the line you need him.
Yeah, you cannot put Mitchell or Turner as your tackles because it's going to be a recipe for disaster.
But now there's issues with Tippmann, and nobody knows what his injury is.
It was a knee injury. I heard. I haven't heard anything.
But nothing specific. You'd think by now we'd have some type of a more specific idea, whether it be 100% accurate or not.
Yeah.
Every damn year, this offensive line is always one injury away from disaster, which usually happens. Like we had our, like I joked about the Monty Python Black Knight with the limbs getting chopped off. It was what the injuries felt like last year. And just every year it's an issue. Now, I will give Douglas credit. They've been trying to fix it. Yeah. Like, Becton's just been a bust so far. So, stuff happens. I get it. But at the same time, like, they this manages to not get addressed or always bites them in the ass every year. And that's why and not only that, look at the schedule. That first 6 weeks is brutal, and they're all teams with a big pass rush. If Rodgers makes it through those first 6 weeks upright, then we can talk going forward. But just with that suspect O-line and the pressure that he'll be facing right away, and for the amount of crap that everybody has been talking around the league, they're going to want to take their shots at Rodgers early and often. Can this O-line handle it? I hope so.
And I know this is a small sample, and I mentioned that to you, JD, on a text. Mm-hmm. And I'm props to Rich Cimini. He was the one who brought it up in one of the Jets pregame shows. When the Jets started on the left side, Brown, Tomlinson, McGovern, and AVT, last year the Jets were 3-0, but not only that, they were averaging over 150 rushing yards per game. So just to give you, yes, it's a small window, small sample, and with all the injuries that they had last year. But if you could do that again, because at least they play with each other, and you add Becton, they could be that line could be a playoff caliber line. I'm not going to say a top 5, but it's a playoff caliber line.
Just give me league average, and we're fine.
Yeah. Yep.
Which, going into the season, that is about where they're ranked, right in the middle, 16th, I think I saw somewhere. Mm-hmm. But they're one injury away from dropping fast.
Yeah.
We're talking about the injuries too, but we're not addressing the cohesion and the chemistry of the line as well, because that's a double-edged issue, because we're so close to week 1, and that is protecting Aaron Rodgers, the whole focal point of the Jets off season, now into preseason, then into regular season. It's concerning, but I think that there is still enough time where things can be fixed and gotten to a better place where, even if it is not perfect by week 1, mm-hmm. I still think Rodgers is good enough to overcome those last bit of percentage points needed to kind of feel that 100% confidence. But yeah, that first month and a half is a gauntlet. Then you go into the bye, and then it gets way more manageable after that. Yeah, it's just really. I mean, if you're a Jets fan, that your only concern that should be really legitimate, that's not kind of nitpicky, is just this offensive line, because everywhere else, I think with another year of experience, and then the Rodgers and signings and chemistry, I think, and the cohesion of the coaching staff, the continuity coming back, and that I think is going to be great. And I mentioned this last week on our show, where from the Jets coaching staff, especially from the offensive staff, to the actual offensive players, to the execution, there had always been a disconnect. Mm-hmm. And now we don't have that disconnect, because there is no more of a straight bridge from point A to point B than having the relationship between Hackett and Rodgers, and now Rodgers then spreading that out through his offense, the skill position. So I think that
took the LaFleur trash out.
Right. And I think that part is great. I remember when we were using the whole LaFleur, being the brother of Matt to the whole, bring Aaron Rodgers. But I mean, after watching what has been happening the last couple months, so many things of last year with guys are just forgotten, because the excitement and really, I mean, it's again preseason, it's hard knocks on TV, but so far besides offensive line issues, everything else has been what we've been wanting so far.
The defense looks fantastic. You can see the chemistry definitely comes off well on camera.
I don't care, preseason or not. A shutout, especially not having starters, again, you're not going up against starters, but again, it's the same playing field. That's impressive.
Yeah, and I don't take much away from preseason on the field, but it looked like just the systemic dismantling. And yes, Carolina they had the number 1 draft pick for a reason. So it's not like they just went out and beat the Chiefs. But we saw competence. We saw execution.
Mm-hmm.
Those are things that we haven't seen much of with the Jets in recent
Or
years.
discipline.
Yes. We did
oh my God. The amount of flags that we've been used to seeing, the amount of flags under Todd Bowles was embarrassing.
Yeah.
And then obviously the whole Gase era was era. The whole Gase experiment was beyond disastrous too. Finally now, because that was whole Salah's thing in San Francisco with their defense was the discipline, and that's why we wanted him here, because we had such disciplinary issues. We brought in a disciplinarian, and now I think we are finally starting to see after after a full year of him being head coach.
Yeah, and to me, it's just catchphrases until we see results. This definitely looks promising, and I'm going to be calling it a Carcucci board from now on.
Totally agree. I think, like you mentioned, to me right now is the O-line. Let's see how it gels, and you have to add more element. They have a new offensive line coach, so it's all a lot of different things. That have to gel together. They're not the only team. There's other teams that, I'm hearing a lot about Denver. Denver's having issues with their O-line because they have new people. So they say that the hardest line, position to gel is the O-line. So
so you mean Sean Payton doesn't have the best team right now?
Shocker.
I thought it was so easy that he was going to. Like a light switch. Okay. Yeah. Well, okay. What do I know?
Exactly.
Yeah. It's only Hackett's fault.
Yeah. Right.
Right.
Oh, I can't wait for that game. Whew.
Ooh,
I agree.
What is there? 6 national TV games or something? Pending flexes, I guess.
At least.
All I know is that we have way less 1 o'clock games.
Yeah.
So that's. I don't know. The 1 o'clock game, it feels like you wake up, you have your game, and then you're done. I don't know. I like having a day to build it, because like with most of the time with baseball, you get night games. Saturday game, on the weekend it's built in, you would expect that. Basketball, you get mostly night games. I don't know. I like having, especially now with this anticipation, I think more afternoon night games. I don't know. I'm all for it.
Mm-hmm. 100%.
Yeah.
Make Sundays easier. You could shop early and then go watch the game at 4.
Mm-hmm. And since they're national games, I'll actually be able to watch them down here.
And guys, what do you think? Do you think the game against the Giants is going to be the highest rated preseason game that the Jets have ever that viewers have seen, because they're going to see Aaron Rodgers for one series?
It's possible.
I wouldn't be surprised if it were a sold out game.
Also, Jets-Giants is usually the only preseason game worth paying any attention to, even if it's only for like the first half.
Plus, you're never going to be able to see Aaron Rodgers play for the Jets for a cheaper price than you will for preseason week 3. So, I don't know. Plus, you get the home aspect, Jets-Giants. I don't know. I think it'll be a packed house.
And they play in the regular season this year, too. That will be an even more packed house.
Which means, how many times do you think they'll bring up the Victor Cruz play? I'll say over under a dozen. I'll take the over.
I was there in person for that. That was the last Jets game I went to. I've been to in person. Was seeing that with my girlfriend at the time, and then having to go to my family's Christmas Eve dinner after that. That sucked.
Wow, what a sour taste.
Yeah, but we can exercise all of that. Just one good year, and then you look at the Cubs. They won World Series. Okay, set for life. That's all we need. Yeah. And all right,
I will.
Yeah. So let's
wait. Before you go, before you go.
Mhm.
If Rodgers has a Rodgers-like season, high MVP talk, great numbers, win the Super Bowl, is he the best player in franchise history?
Probably.
He's the new.
I don't know.
He's the name for a new generation.
The name for the generation.